Being these pirates will change everything.
Yarr, let's get 'em!
Hello all, and welcome to the Pirate 101 Beginner's Handbook. I am going to give a general understanding of what you need to know to start your journey through Pirate 101. Even if you are a long-term player, there might be a thing or two you can learn from this video. Without further ado, let's get started. First off, what is Pirate 101? Pirate 101 is the sister game to Wizard 101. They both take place in the Spiral, with Pirate 101 having references to Wizard 101. Although they exist in the same world, they are not the same game. Wizard 101 functions as a card game, similar to Hearthstone or Slay the Spire, whereas Pirate 101 functions as a turn-based RPG, similarly to Fire Emblem. As you quest through the game, you will recruit companions onto your crew, who will join you in combat. You can recruit companions from mainline quests, side quests, or through in-game purchases such as the Crown Shop or from packs. Training tomes are used to level up your companions. You can get these from leveling up yourself, buying them, side quests, or picking them up around the game. As a general rule of thumb, don't level up your companions to always be the same level as you. If it takes more than one tome to level up a companion, it is not worth it. Training tomes are a luxury, and you don't want to default to buying them as the price scales based off of your level. In about the first 12 levels, you will recruit companions that will match or be a higher level than you as well, so simply using them and keeping the lower leveled companions idled is ideal. Hoard as many tomes as you can until about the time you finish Skull Island, where the difficulty starts to spike. This tip works better if you have your companions in order, so you can always use the highest level companions. The only exception I make are for companion promotions. If you level up a companion and get a promotion quest, always do it. They are optional, but super rewarding as that promoted companion becomes much stronger. Here are the first 5 companions as promotion levels that you will most likely encounter based off of whatever class you pick. Whenever you, the pirate captain, get to these levels, you can elect to fully level up your companion as well. Companions that you deem too weak to join you in combat, you can, starting at level 8, send them off on tasks to retrieve valuables for you. The best task to put unwanted companions on is for nautical XP, which I'll talk more about later on in this video. There are 5 classes you can choose in Pirate 101, each with a distinct identity. Each class influences what companions you will recruit onto your team. Some are universal, and others are class specific. Buccaneers are your typical bruiser, brawler, tank archetype, designed to rush in, take hits, and retaliate harder. Swashbucklers are your assassins and duelists, designed to hide and burst down the enemy, or bait the enemy to hit you, dodge, and punish their retaliation. Musketeers are your ranged marksmen, designed to keep space from the melee enemies and subdue them before the gap is closed. Witch Doctors are the mage class, designed to cast spells to debuff and excel at AoE damage. And finally, Privateers, the jack of all trades. Mainly designed as a support class, but can flex into the other 4 classes. Ultimately, it is up to you what you want to play, but if you were to ask me, here is my advice. If you want to play a melee class, I would choose Swashbuckler. If you want to play a ranged class, I would choose Musketeer. Every class is absolutely playable, but I believe Swash and Musket are the most effective at their job with the least amount of problems. Their companion diversity is also better than the other classes. The other 3 classes, if you want to play them, I would recommend spending some extra crowns on a companion to really have them shine. Swashbuckler and Musketeer, they don't need to as much. When making your pirate, you will also be asked 2 extra questions. How did you lose your parents? And who trained you? The first question will grant you 1 of 5 companions, and the second will provide a small stat boost. For the first question, ultimately, you can pick whatever you like. But this is what I would pick for each class and a quick description as to why. For the second question, most agree the best option for all 5 classes is Naturally Spooky, as extra spell power is very nice for a lot of different powers, especially on Musketeers, Witch Doctors, and Privateers. However, it's not a massive deal breaker if you choose something else. Shown here is what each choice provides. Next topic are the three main applications of combat in Pirate 101. The first are the powers. In other games, they are commonly referred to as actives. Power cards are what you choose to cast on your turn. You can only use a power once per combat. The only way to obtain multiples of the same powers are through pets or through gear. Pressing P on your keyboard brings up your power tab, and the closer the number is to 0, the higher likelihood you will pull that card. You can pull up to 7 powers per turn, and right-clicking a power discards them permanently. However, you cannot guarantee pulling a card turn 1 in Pirate 101, even if it is in your first slot. Next are the epics. In other games, epics are commonly referred to as passives. Epics have a set trigger based on what happens in combat. For example, Vengeance Strike triggers once the player gets hit by a melee enemy's attack. It cannot trigger from a ranged attack. Higher ranks of epics yield more value. The cap of individual epics is 5, but there is no theoretical cap to the amount of different epics you can obtain. You can learn epics from trainers, or obtain from gear and from pets. Finally, stats. Very straightforward, higher stats, more value. Not much else to say. When deciding what epics and stats to consider for companions and you, the pirate captain, here is my recommendation. For epics, here are my personal recommendations for each class and the strength of each epic in comparison to one another. Generally, for lower levels, get 3 different epics, as I have here with Bonnie Ann, and then upgrade these to their 2nd or 3rd tier as you can receive more epics. For stats, here are the tiers. There are some nuances, such as swashbucklers preferring dodge but not buccaneers, but this is the general blueprint. For classes, swashbucklers and musketeers use agility, privateers and witch doctors use will, and buccaneers use strength, so make sure you give your companions their respective stats. Upon leaving the tutorial, I would press escape to open up the options window, go to the 2nd joystick, turn off automate companions as the AI will do more harm than good to your team, turn on fast combat as normal combat is considerably slower, and for combat unit selection, the objectively best option is in order, which brings the first 3 or so companions you have set, but I would personally advise you choose First Mate, which always brings in your first companion and then 2 random ones from your crew, or 3 completely random companions. I find the game to be much more fun this way. As I mentioned earlier, Pirates Combat functions as a turn-based RPG, and in a vast majority of fights, you will act first. Each turn, you can move around the battlefield, or you can use a power. The main things you need to know for Pirates Combat is the general strategy and understanding enemies' movement. The enemy AI will almost always rush into you, so generally you want to spend the first turn using buffs. Swashbucklers can use hides, buccaneers can use tanky powers, musketeers, witch doctors, and privateers, they can use buffs, they can create terrain, or they can use long-range artillery attacks. Once the enemy draws near, the general strat for a majority of the game is to focus down 1 or 2 enemies at a time. Don't diversify and try and hit all of them at once. Generally, especially for the lower levels, it's not the best idea. The next thing is understanding the enemies' movement. This is a bit advanced, but the main takeaway is understanding what I call the 3-tile rule. I'll demonstrate a live example in-game. Okay, so here's an in-depth example of how this works. An in-game, in-depth example. So right now, I'm fighting these level 1 troggies. These are the first troggies that you fight in Pirate 101. I copied a version of it so you can see what they look like. Every enemy can move 4 tiles only straight forward. So 4 here and 4 tiles here. No enemy in Pirate actually moves this way. They will always move in an angle. But at an angle, you can see that it's only 3 tiles here, 3 tiles here, 3 tiles here, 3 tiles here, 3 tiles here. Again, only straightforward, but no enemy ever walks this way. So if I know this, that these 2 enemies can only move 3 tiles, if I move here, 1, 2, 3, this troggy can still hit me. But if I move here, 1, 2, 3, this troggy will stand right here, he will not be able to hit me. So let's see what happens. Okay, I'll even move it, yeah, I'll move it right here. I'll move it right here, actually. Because it'll be the 4 tiles straight forward, right? He should be able to hit me if it's 4 tiles if you go straight forward. Let's see what the troggy does. He moves at an angle, he can't hit me. Same thing for this guy, can't hit me either. I'll give another example. So right now this is also 3 tiles. So if I move here, If I move right here, 1, 2 should be able to hit me, but 1, 2, 3, you can see this Troggy right here, 1, 2, 3, he will not be able to hit me from there. He's going to walk up as well. So this Troggy will be able to hit me because of the 3 tile rule. 1, 2, he can move 1, 2 tiles, he'll be able to hit me. So see, he can hit me, which Kakarius kills him, unfortunately. But this guy can't, because I'm more than 3 tiles away. Now, this isn't true for every individual fight. But for a majority of fights, if you understand this basic rule, you'll be fine in a lot of fights. So let's use this example, right? This guy, 1, 2, 3, he'll hit anybody here. 1, 2, 3, you can hit anybody here. If I move right here, the only guy who can hit is this guy, and he can hit my Barnabas. But he cannot hit these two. And these two cannot be able to hit me. Okay, so these two will not be able to hit me because of the 3-turn rule. Cannot hit, cannot hit. This guy will be able to only hit Barnabas, and I know this, and that's fine. So let's see what happens, right? I'm going to move my guy right here. Kobe and Bonnie Ann are going to move over there. So let's see what happens. This guy can't hit. This guy, he'll get hit by Bonnie, and he'll hit Barnabas because of the 3-turn rule. I know that he's in range to hit Barnabas, so he will go for him. These two will not be able to hit me because it's more than 3 ranges. When it comes to gear, there's a few things to keep in mind. For hats, robes, and boots, just buy gear from the bazaar or use gear from chests as you defeat enemies. Stats for a majority of the game don't matter too much to pirate captains, so don't worry too much about that. If you happen to get a piece of gear that grants a power, you should almost always utilize those. Totems, charms, and rings, on the other hand, there's one place you should farm for early on. At level 5, you get the 3 Lasco quests. Each questline has a final boss that drops variations of these 3 pieces of gear. These are some of the best pieces of jewelry you can get for at least the first 40 levels of the game. My advice is to go through these the first time, as you have to. Then, at around level 10, go back and farm these dungeons a couple of times for the gear that you want. Weapons are the main decider of your playstyle. There are typically 2 styles, pure or hybrid. Pure styles refer to either only playing melee, ranged, or mage. Some weapons exist as only shooty or only stabby, but ones that are, for example, stabby slashy or smashy slashy are also considered pure. Hybrid styles refer to playing a mixture of melee, ranged, or mage. Hybrid weapons allow 2 out of 3 styles. The 2 most popular are shooty melee or shooty staffy. I personally recommend every class to play hybrid, as it allows for more options, but I would say Swashbuckler and Privateer should go hybrid the most. Swashbuckler, absolutely go shooty stabby hybrid. Privateer, absolutely go shooty staffy hybrid. You will dish out more damage, and with the jewelry I mentioned, for each class I would farm at least 2 of these powers, as it will make questing throughout the game much smoother. Sniper Shot is especially super strong in the early and mid game, as for some reason, not only is it infinite range, it can even be used on melee shooty weapons, and it always is a critical super strike, the strongest of the 3 criticals. For pets, I would follow this video by Lost Wave or Seth. He quickly goes over everything you need to know. However, my advice, if you are a new player, do not worry about pets. The game was originally designed without a big pet system. Pirate was made in 2012, and pets were introduced in 2014. You can go through the majority of the game without needing one. Speaking of ships, the last thing I want to mention is the nautical system. I brought up earlier in the video about putting unwanted companions to collect nautical XP. There is a reason why. Unfortunately, the nautical system in Pirate is very poorly designed. I don't know why after 14 years it's still in its current state, but it is. Your nautical level will not reflect your actual level. You will need extra help from your companions to shoulder the load. You also don't need to always spend gold on ships. In fact, the first time you should buy a ship is around level 20 in Bison Village. Ship combat is very mundane. It's really just spamming 1, 2, 3, 4 on your keyboard. Try to position yourself so that you don't attract other ships. Always keep your distance as well from ships you are attacking, as being under half health and being too close to one will allow them to board you. Generally, the strategy for ship combat is to defeat one ship and hop onto a win lane, as you will be safe, heal up, and fight again. Try not to board enemy ships, as it generally is slower than the actual nautical fight. A tip I will give for nautical fights is if you happen to enter a vortex, which act as sigil instances for skyways, you will face an unsinkable ship. Take these ships to half health and then allow it to board you. These enemies will start at half health when you start fighting them. And the final tip for new players: for any other questions or problems you run into while playing Pirate 101, join the official Discord. Many other long-term players like myself will be happy to help. You may not always get an answer, but it is the best place to go to. Well, that's all I want to talk about. If there's a big one that I missed, leave a comment, and good luck out there, Pirate.